In this video, we'll talk about how to create a critical request within Virtual Inventory. There are 3 ways to create a critical request within Virtual Inventory, and we will go through them sequentially. The first way is that when you log into Virtual Inventory, you will see that there is a big red critical button in the top right corner. If you press this, a pop-up will show. In this pop-up, you will see that your contact information is already filled out since you logged into Virtual Inventory. We then ask you to add in the license and installation that this request pertains to. You're also able to add in the email of colleagues that you want to be informed about this critical request. We can then proceed to step 2. In step 2, you add in all necessary information to identify the item that you are requesting in this request. You add in the material number, what manufacturer part number is relevant for this, what is the manufacturer of it, how many do you need, and a short and a long description. Be as descriptive as possible in these fields to ease the workload for the receivers of this request. Then proceed to step 3. In step 3, you select the criticality between the 2 available options, immediate production loss and production loss within 1 to 2 weeks. We also ask you to add the category of this request. Is it drilling wells, operations, or subsea? By default, all operators are selected as recipients of this request. If you know that this doesn't pertain to a specific operator, you are able to uncheck them. We also recommend to add attachments to ease the workload additionally for the receivers of the request, so that it's easier for them to understand what you are looking for. Please also use the additional comments field to add comments that they should know about. When this request is previewed and then sent, all the recipients will be notified by SMS and email. This applies to all methods of critical material requests. The second method of creating a critical material request is that you search for something specifically within the system. When you find something within the system that you critically need, you're able to open the item and you can see that the critical button is visible. If you press this, the same pop-up window will show, where we again ask you to add in the license or installation. You can add the emails for the colleagues that you want to be informed. But the biggest change is that the information on the material info is already pre-filled since you have selected a specific item. We only ask to add a material number, if valid, and the quantity of the number of items you need. If the material number is not valid, just put unknown. Then proceed to step 3. In step 3 is the same as in the first method. You select the criticality, what category this pertains to, and what recipients you should have. And again, add files and comments to help the receivers process the request. The third method of creating a critical request is outside Virtual Inventory. On the open form, which can be found on critical.virtualinventory.no. This form is the same as the form within Virtual Inventory, but it's open for anyone. So here you have to put in the contact information. So you put in what operator, name, email, phone number, and again, the fields, that's the same with the internal form, what license this pertains to, what is the criticality category, and as much descriptive text and data as possible to make this possible for the receivers to process. Again, we recommend also using attachments to describe the item. The biggest difference between this external form and the internal is that this needs an approval from someone within your organization before it can be sent out to everyone else.